The U.S. Supreme Court just hours away from hearing an unprecedented case specifically from Colorado.
Yeah, the justices are going to decide whether or not former President Donald Trump should be allowed on our state's primary ballots. We've got Fox 31's Ashley Michaels. She's live in Washington, D.C. this morning with the latest on this as we actually are just hours away from that hearing beginning. Good morning.
Yeah, Kirk and Ashley, good morning from Washington, D.C. We're 2 hours ahead of you guys back in Denver, so the sun is already starting to come up here. But boy, the eyes of the nation really are on this case here today. Take a look off to my side. We're in front of the U.S. Supreme Court building. Look at all of the news cameras out here. There are news crews from not only Washington, D.C., but we've seen Denver crews here. We've even met international news crews from Europe who are here covering this case. This is such a big deal. Now, if you swing back on over to this side, I want to give you another look down the other side of the Supreme Court sidewalk. Do you see all these people who are kind of lined up down that sidewalk? Some of them have been there since Tuesday afternoon. The first person who got in line there, 4 p.m. on Tuesday. And these are people, members of the public, who are trying to get a seat into the oral arguments that are going to be here happening in just about a couple hours here this morning. Now, let's talk a little bit about what's at stake in this case, whether the nation's highest court confirms Colorado's ruling or overturn it. Of course, this stands to impact elections in all 50 states. That's why there's so much attention out here today. Now, for example, if the Supreme Court says Trump can be on the ballot in Colorado, that means he can be on the ballot nationwide, every Republican ballot nationwide. Now, like we said, people have come to D.C. from across the country to try and hear these arguments, to see what way the justices may be leaning as we wait for an eventual decision on this case. Now, as we've been out here in that line of people waiting, we didn't find any Coloradans who were out here, but we did talk with people who say a night or two out in the cold is worth it to get a front row seat to history.
There's only maybe 50 people from the public that will get to see it. So to be one of those out of the millions of Americans would be really, really cool.
Now, even if you're not here, you can still listen in. We're going to be live streaming the audio feed of oral arguments. That's beginning at 8 a.m. Denver time. And you can find that on our website, kdvr.com. Now, we'll be here this morning, keeping you up to date as we move closer to these oral arguments. They start at 8 a.m. Denver time. Like I said, I'm going to be inside the courtroom. Once the hearing wraps up, I'm going to come back out. We're going to break down the case. We're going to have reaction from both sides. And really, the question is, when is a decision going to come down in this case? And the answer is, we have no idea. So it's going to be a waiting game after oral arguments wrap up here. Kirk and Ashley, back to you.
But at the same time, we've got to remember this whole case surrounds the primary in Colorado, which is coming up in March. So even though there is no timeline, right, they don't have to make a decision by then. It seems like they would, right, Ashley?
Well, and that's the thing. Time really is of the essence because there are so many question marks. We're in an unprecedented case here. Nobody really knows what it's going to be like going forward. But I've spoken multiple times to Secretary of State Jena Griswold, Colorado Secretary of State, and she says that they're hoping to have an answer as quickly as possible. But here's the thing. His name already is on Colorado's ballots. When those primary ballots arrive in your mailbox, his name is going to be on it. So the question is, what happens if they say he can't be on it? Well, she says Colorado law already tells us that those votes simply wouldn't count. We've already seen instances of this. For example, Ron DeSantis has already dropped out of the Republican race. His name will also appear on Colorado ballots when those arrive in your mailbox. So this would be treated the same way, and those votes simply wouldn't count. But again, we're in unprecedented times here. We are going to be speaking with Jena Griswold later on. She's here. She's going to be presenting arguments in front of the Supreme Court today as well. So it's all something we're watching for here this morning.
Well, and Ashley, let me ask you, are you seeing a lot of former President Trump supporters there as well? I know we're hearing from a lot of Democrats who are supporting Jena Griswold and the decision here in Colorado.
Well, so I went up and down the line of people who are waiting out here. We talked to a lot of folks out here yesterday, and it's really a mixed bag. And people who are out here say that's kind of the fun of it. They're able to have political discussions, whether they're on one side of the issue or the other. But you heard me talking about the person who's first in line there, who got here at 4 o'clock on Tuesday. She's from North Carolina, and she says she is here specifically to support former President Trump. She's hoping he's going to be in court today. She wants to see him. We don't know if he's going to show up in person or not, so that's something we're still watching for as well. But yes, we are seeing a lot of people on both sides of this issue out here. I'd say it's a pretty even split.
Yeah. We're going to be watching, and we'll be checking in with you, Ashley. Great to have you reporting for us out there in Washington, D.C., as we are just a handful of hours away from that 8 o'clock Supreme Court hearing when it begins, and you'll be inside covering that for us as well. Thanks, Ashley.